What you get for the money. Today we'll see an Omaha, Nebraska remodel that turned one ho-hum traditional into a modern showstopper, and an eclectic ranch in an environmentally conscious Spokane, Washington neighborhood. 6 homes for $500,000. Just ahead on what you get for the money. Welcome to What You Get for the Money. I'm Mike Siegel. Our first homeowners took some daring liberties when they remodeled their Nebraska home. They used a 14-foot-long sheet of glass for a kitchen island and a steel I-beam for their fireplace mantle. Omaha, Nebraska. If you're not familiar with the place, you might think cornfields.
You'll have to go clear out to Elkhorn to find a cornfield, but that's okay. Cornfields aren't bad. They're nice views.
It may not be as flashy as a New York or an LA, but Omaha, Nebraska can compete with the best of them. Vibrant art scene? Check. Great restaurants? Check. Wide array of fantastic architecture? Check.
Omaha, it isn't out there tooting its own horn, so it is a bit of a hidden secret. It's a great place. It's a very modern place. Wonderful restaurants. We have marvelous art places. We have spectacular art.
In 2002, trial lawyer and jazz musician David Houghton and his wife Deborah decided to buy a house in a family-oriented neighborhood called Barrington Park.
Our neighborhood has the walking path, and Omaha has lots of walking and biking paths in them. We have the nice creek here that runs in the wooded area, and then it's just a family area. I think Omaha is a wonderful place to raise a family.
Deborah and David found this traditional home and immediately consulted an architect about turning it into what they really wanted.
When we walked in the house, there was a series of small rooms, very dark, a lot of trim and moldings and oak cabinetry and a lot of carpet. And they asked me my opinion. I said, well, it's got a lot of lemons, but if we put some water and some sugar, we could make lemonade out of the house. And that's what we did.
The couple focused their contemporary remodel on 3 elements: the kitchen, living room, and staircase.
And they said, we have this wonderful modern art collection. We want a house where we can really show off our modern art. And I told them, you need to have a house that's clean and simple, it looks a little bit like a museum to really show off modern art.
Well, originally this wall was open. It was the stair railing to the stairs, which are behind it. And we asked Randy to give us some wall space for our big pieces of art, and that's what he did.
But we didn't want just a big wall. We wanted a sense of openness, so he gave us these cutouts, which gives it some visual interest and a sense of depth.
The Houghton's 4,500 square foot house was transformed on the inside for about 100,000 big ones. Today the home is valued at well over $500,000.
As people then walk into the main part of the living room, they are greeted with this modern open loft type look. It's usually quite a surprise for people.
Even for Deborah, the chunky steel mantle was a shocking surprise.
I walked in the house during construction and it was sitting up here, and I asked the workers what it was doing there. And they said, that's your mantle. And I said, no, it's not. And they said, no, that's it. I said, well, you're just sitting it there now, for now, aren't you? And they said, no, that's your mantle. And so, of course, I ran to David and Randy, and they said, no, that was the mantle. And I love it now. It is a conversation piece. People really appreciate its uniqueness. It's one of my favorite pieces in the house.
With 8 kids between them, both Deborah and David are thrilled with the spaciousness of their new kitchen. And the 14-foot-long glass island is the perfect gathering spot.
Well, here we wanted a room where our family could all come to dinner and sit at the same place. And so that works when there's 10 adults here. It's wonderful for parties. People just gather. You can crowd a lot of people around this island.
The Houghtons kept the eating nook's original dome ceiling.
Randy took off the trim that went around the dome and then built this very nice circular piece here and put lights behind it, make it a source of light, gives it a sense of volume. It actually enhances the whole space for me. It enhances the way the place sounds when people talk here, and it just makes it feel so much more open.
The elegant modern space is surprisingly kid-friendly and is a huge hit with the Houghtons' grandchildren, especially 3-year-old Cameron.
They like to play chase, and there's a certain flow here, there's a certain pattern, and so Grandpa chases them around, until I wear out. And then when I take little breaks, I catch them, and we throw them on the tickle chair. And then they want to chase, and of course they last a lot longer than we do. We can play trains, we can build things.
Good job.
And they have the run of the place.
While the center of the home is a modern oasis, the rest of the three-bedroom house remains traditional in style. The sunken dining and sitting areas complement the contemporary remodel.
There's a really good sense of flow in the house, and I would not call either of those the forgotten rooms, at least not visually, because they're all a part of what you see and feel as you walk through the house.
For a healthy serving over 500 grand in Omaha, you can get a 4,500 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with a stunning industrial chic living room, steel slab mantel, and a remodeled kitchen with a 14-foot long glass island. Did you know the state of Nebraska claims to have more miles of river than any other state? But try as they might, nobody's been able to actually prove it. Just ahead, some New York transplants stake their claim in Charlotte, North Carolina. And later, an eclectic contemporary that was ahead of its time in Spokane, Washington.
More money than I ever spent on a house or thought I would spend on a house.
Coming up on what you get for the money. Welcome back to What You Get for the Money. When a family of 3 started feeling the walls close in on them in Long Island, they packed up and moved south to a house where the garage became the ultimate deal sealer. Charlotte, North Carolina is one of the fastest growing cities in the country, and for good reason. The Queen City combines cosmopolitan flair with quiet southern charm. A unique combination that's drawing some 40,000 new residents each year. Oh, and let's not forget the cost of living. Just do the math.
We have the same size house for half the money.